Do you mind if I'm drinking my coffee throughout?
No, not at all. I'm just jealous
Okay,
you don't have one in front of me.
Oh no, it's still early enough to be drinking coffee out there, right?
I've been up since like 4:30, so I've done my show and done some other stuff, and yeah, this
I
is.
was up at 5 a.m. Well, Pacific time, but I'm a 5 a.m.er.
I love it. Good for you. I don't run into many people in the business that, unless you have to be up like I do, that get up that early. So that's kind of cool to hear. I'm super excited to have you on. I'm a big fan. We have kind of a California connection. So I grew up in San Diego and grew up loving the Beach Boys. And I know that you're a big fan of Brian Wilson. Tell me a little bit about that and why you gravitated towards him when it comes to the songwriting side of it.
Oh, I lived in San Diego for about a year. I love San Diego.
Beautiful.
It's the best weather, best all the stuff. I fell in love with Brian Wilson like from being a teenager, and but as I've gotten older and I got deeper into my career, I think I realized how much of a genius he was, and listened to Pet Sounds and broke down all those records and was like, wow, I don't know, I appreciated him as an adult way more than I did when I was a kid. But because when you're a kid, you're just like dun, dun, dun,
Right.
dun, 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 you're just having fun and running around, and probably like on one of those slip and slides.
100%.
Yeah. But yeah, I've loved him always, and Pet Sounds is like changed my writing, and I don't know that there's, between Tapestry by Carole King and Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, I don't know that there's any other album that's had more of an impact on my own writing, probably.
Those are two names that are tough to beat. That's solid right there.
Tough to beat. I know. I'm putting myself in a scary lane. I'm like, oh man. But
now you're talented though, and your story is pretty incredible. Growing up playing piano, and then you went to Berklee College of Music, and then you went to Nashville to do the professional songwriting thing. But it was the move to LA where things kind of shifted and started to change. Tell me a little bit about how important that move to LA was from Nashville.
well, it was so needed. I loved Nashville, but it's a small town, or it was small. It's getting really big now.
Right.
But I felt like I had met everyone there, and I kind of reached a ceiling there fairly quickly, and it was always LA. It was always going to get to LA, but I didn't want to move there at ground zero of my career. I sort of knew that if I was going to go from school to LA, I was going to get eaten alive. Because I'm a pretty nice person. I'm not cutthroat. I'm not I'm not gonna hurt somebody to get ahead. Like, I just knew, and I feel like when you're at that very, very beginning stage of your career, some people, you gotta get dirty. And I was like, I was unwilling. I just wanted to make music, and I was unwilling to get into all that. And I felt like Nashville was a really good place to sort of like, if you're a good person and you're a good hang,
There you go.
being a good hang almost matters more than being talented. Like, if you're just a good vibe in the room, people are like, we'll work with you.
And that's important with as
Yeah.
much time that you spend on writing stuff, right? You don't want to be in a room with somebody that you don't like being around.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that was good, because then I met enough people there in Nashville that when I moved to LA, they all kind of connected me. I was like, maybe instead of ground zero, I was at ground two. I don't know. It wasn't so frightening when I moved to LA. And then it wasn't too long after I started really digging into writing my own stuff, instead of writing for other people, and signed my first record deal. And yeah, I didn't have to be cutthroat.
I love it.
Yeah, to get ahead.
That's always a good place to be. So I love stories of hearing how artists connect for collabs. So let's go back a little bit. Did you ever think that there'd be a time where you'd work with somebody like Niall Horan?
Oh my God, no. No way. No. Well, and we're, the same age. So growing up, there was never a world in which I thought that I was going to be working with this like guy from One Direction. And I didn't even know that I wanted to be an artist. When he was crushing it
Yep.
and killing his career, I was figuring out what my favorite color was. I just did not know my left hand from my right hand. And life was complicated. And so, yeah, but I had always really admired him. And when he did Slow Hands, I was like, he got me with Slow Hands. And I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
maybe the little glimmer of maybe one day that would be cool. But
it's super cool to see like some of these bands, right? Not they're all talented, but then when they kind of go their separate ways, you wonder, because that's really when you get to kind of start peeling back the onion a little bit and get an idea of who they are as artists. And it was very quick with his solo projects that you realize just the caliber that Niall brings to the table. So I remember when I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And I think it was. What did you think? How were you feeling after that project?
I was so honored. Moral of the story was my baby, and it was such a close to home personal song that, we did not expect to do what it ended up doing. And yeah, the fact that Niall was even considering working on that song, especially knowing at like what a high caliber level he's at and how hard he works. He's really, he's kind of the goofball and like is always cracking a joke, and he's talk about a good hang. But he is so serious about his career and works his butt off.
Right.
So that was really inspiring. So the fact that he was like, I like this record and I'm willing to like I'll give it a shot. I'll sing on it, see if we like it. And yeah, that was an honor, and it ended up sounding so good.
It was so good. So good. So as a radio guy, I'm also a networker, and I've got to throw this cheap plug in because there's another connection that you and I have. A friend of mine just signed with Heart 8 Working Group at the beginning of the year. So if you're ever looking for a writing partner, this kid is going to be a superstar one day. And
what's his name?
His name's Grant Kanoki, and he just signed with Heart 8 in January. He's
I know that. I know that name.
Yeah, he's out in LA. Super cool kid. So
I'll write it down. I'm always keep a notepad near, always, just in case.
I've been
friends. I wrote it down.
Awesome. I've been friends with him and his family for some time. And I actually was texting him the other day and I was like, I'm talking to Ashe in a couple days. He's like, what? So anyway, he's like, we're with the same group. And I was like, okay, I'll mention it. So there you go.
That's so nice. Oh, well, yeah, I'll have to check out his stuff. I am definitely, my writing circle has never been smaller, but I always give someone a shot. Like that first round.
Right.
Yeah, like finishing my album, it was like the smallest crew. It was like people I was like, we'd take a bullet for each other, and then everyone else I kept at an arm's length. It worked out. I'm really proud of it.
All right, so we got to talk about Till Forever Falls Apart with Phineas.
Okay.
I mean, look, I've got goosebumps. This song and you two together, and I'm going to get to it because I know you've worked with him in the past. We'll get to that, but I want to talk about this here and now because it's so amazing, and the timing. What makes this one so special? Because I know as a music fan, the first time I heard it, and I still have goosebumps, by the way, it just grabbed me. And it's one of those songs that after doing this for 22 years, you hear a song, it grows on you. This one it was there from the get-go. So why is this one so special?
Thanks. I don't know. Maybe you could tell me. Shoot. I mean, I think it's honest, and it's just being as sort of a real as I can get. And I've always taken that approach as a writer. It's also very apparent how close Finn and I are, I think, in the song. Just
Yeah.
the way we sing together in the music video. We're just giggling the whole time, you know. And
Imagine.
I don't know. It's obnoxiously me. You know, I ran into the studio that day when I started writing it, and I was like, I wanted this like call and response between the piano part and the lead vocal on the chorus. And we had that dum dum dum, and then kept putting in, you know, lyrics here and there. And
Right.
we'd come up with the next, like, oh, you know, if the tide takes California, or the we've been living on a fault line. And I remember my collaborator Leroy Clampett and I being like, "Oh, living on a fault line, that's so
Yep.
good." And yeah, there's just been all this like Queen inspiration and ABBA inspiration from, you know, while we've been working on the album. And yeah, I don't know why it's special, but it does feel special. And I feel so lucky I get to do it with my friend.
Yeah, it's super cool. Now, your timing in teaming up, I don't feel worthy enough to call him Finn, but with Phineas, originally couldn't have been better. So take us back, because you actually started working with him before the big night at the Grammys, right?
Oh yeah.
How did that come about?
Yeah. Thank God I met him before all the Grammys. We met, actually, we met in a crosswalk, which is funny. And he remembered it and I forgot. He had to remind me that's how we actually met. I thought we met in the studio, like the first time we were set up on a writing session.
Right.
But no, it turns out like a couple weeks before. And now that he reminded me, I remember. But I was walking to a coffee shop and he was leaving the coffee shop in Highland Park,
Oh, wow.
which I actually, yeah, live so close to now, funny enough. But yeah, saw each other. We're like, hey, it's you. You're gonna be my friend. It was just like a moment, and then we were mid street and we're gonna get hit by a car, so needed to keep going. But and then our first session together, there was just sort of this inexplicable, I don't know, we're very different people, you know. He can be very stoic and like uh put together, and I'm like all over the place, you know. I'm the goofball and he can be so serious. And yeah, we're so different and yet we make so much sense, and I've just loved each other from the start. And um he had just, I think Billy had just put out Ocean Eyes around the time that we got in the studio together. So he, you know, I knew he was a great writer, but
Right.
he was still making a name for himself, and I definitely was making a name for myself. And um yeah, it was cool. I feel really lucky that I got to meet him before the Grammys.
Well, and you continue to do incredible work with them, and that shows that the connection is definitely real. Knowing
Thank
some of the
you.
people you've worked with Demi and Harry Styles and Phineas, what would be like the Holy Grail collab for you?
Niall Horan. But I want to work with Harry Styles.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was like, I worked with Harry Styles. Cool. That would be great.
Let me go back and ask that again because I totally screwed that up. So, what would
No,
be
no, no, you're good.
what's the Holy Grail for you on a collab?
Oh, the Holy Grail.
No
I
pressure.
don't know. Watch me, Harry Styles. I would love to work with Harry. I think, you know, I'm ready to sounds obnoxious. I'm ready to not collab for a second.
That makes sense.
Because even if you're working with people you love and respect, um, everything takes twice as long because it has to get approved by your team, approved by that team, and it's just a process. So I'm kind of excited to be in my little autonomous bubble for a little while. But I love Miley Cyrus. I think she's a powerhouse and just gives I can't say the word,
She does
you
it. I
know.
love that about her.
I love it. And I still like, I'm at the beginning of my career in which, it feels like I have to play, there's part of it to play the game. And so people don't think you're too big for your britches and
Right.
all that. And, I really respect her for, um, just doing her own thing. I think Billy too is someone who's done that from the get. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I should just not worry about impressing people and just do my own freaking thing. And so I'm trying to adopt some of that.
Well, you're impressing people with your music. There's no doubt about that. Let's talk about the
Thank
last
you.
year because I know it's been a challenge for everyone. What's maybe a lesson that you've taken from the pandemic and what we've all had to deal with?
Mm. Life is short, itty bitty, short. Oh my gosh, it's over and just like I'm gonna blink and be 80 or blink and not be here. It's just so, and tomorrow's not promised. And I know the whole world has dealt with incredible loss last year or this past year, and it's still, you know, going through that. And I feel like we're gonna go through a period as we come out of this that we're gonna not take stuff for granted. And that's so exciting. I'm nervous about like 6 months after.
Mhm.
Like I can see us all going back to taking life for granted, or hugging your friends for granted, hugging your parents or your grandparents for granted. And um, I hope that we hang on
Yeah,
to the sobriety really that the pandemic has given us. Is that the right word?
yeah,
Sobriety?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it
Thanks.
works. I totally get it. What have you missed? What have you missed the most in the past year, having to, be safe and um,
Hmm.
manage all the different things that we've all been through? Because it's been different around the country, but I know California was pretty strict about it. Most of my family's still there. So what did
Yeah.
you feel like you missed the most?
Oh, I mean, I think all the basic things that all of us miss. I miss seeing my family. Um, I miss touring. I miss playing shows. And I know every single artist that I know feels the same way. I'm not special on this note. Um, but, we just started talking about, tour dates and just talking about how we want the live show to be, and talking about players and talking about the production and the set list. I'm like getting giddy just talking about it with you. And so yeah, I think that was probably the biggest thing I missed. And again, those first couple shows back, man, not going to take that for granted one bit.
And that may be the answer to this final question before we do the same 5 questions we always ask. But now that we kind of see that there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, is there anything exciting that you're looking forward to, or maybe you're kind of secretly working on for when it is safe to do some of those things that you miss out on so much?
Looking forward to putting my album out. That's the biggest one. Oh man. I've been tirelessly, blood, sweat, and tears for sure have gone into this thing. And as I was talking about Miley and Billy and them doing whatever they want, I really have just unapologetically written an album that sounds like me. We were like, if there was ever a song that we wrote that sounded like someone else could sing it, we just cut it. We cut it from the album. Even if it was good, we were like, nope, can't be on there. Sorry, only I can be able to sing it or be able to write it. So that it was such a fun process. That's definitely what I'm most excited about, and then playing those shows.
That'll be great. All
Yeah.
right, before I let you go, Ash, same 5 questions we always ask. These are fun, fast, and furious.
Okay.
What's the best meal you can cook?
Oh, fast.
Have to be fast.
Oh, I don't know. I don't cook that often. I should cook more. Probably like spaghetti and meatballs.
No, all right. What's your favorite beauty or grooming product that you swear by?
Oh, boy brow. I don't really wear makeup, but I always do my eyebrows.
And it's a product called Boy Brow.
It's called Boy Brow by Glossier. I'm not sponsored by them, I promise.
Okay.
I should be.
Maybe after this you will be. We'll tag them in the video. If you could have a dinner party with two famous people, dead or alive, who would it be?
Carole King, John Lennon.
Wow. If I could,
can you imagine that dinner party?
I was just going to ask if I could be your +1 on that one, because that would be incredible.
You can come.
Awesome. Yes. And if it wasn't for music, what do you think you'd be doing today?
I have no idea. There's never been a plan B. Good God. I desperately love children. I'm like, was born to be a mom, won't be for a long time, but probably like a child therapist or kindergarten teacher, something like that.
That's cool. And the final question, same 5 questions we always ask. What's the best sound effect you can make? And let's hear it. No pressure.
Sound effect?
Yeah.
Can I have an example? What have people done in the past?
Let me see. Victoria Beckham years ago did Donald Duck that ended up blowing up. We never expected it to reach some of the internet sites that it did. And then we've had Ice Cube. I had him on a couple months ago, and he did a typical guy thing. He said, "I can make a fart noise." I was like, "Okay, that's original. Go for it."
Sounds like Ice Cube. Ice Cube. Shoot.
It's just.
Well, I think of that vocal warm-up thing, but I don't know what it sounds like. That doesn't sound like anything, though.
It does to me. It sounds like one of the Jetson cars.
Oh, there you go. Or like a pig snort. But everyone can do that. I'm trying to think of something unique. It might have to be. We have to do a million of those every show. Ooh, I'm feel like I'm warming up for a show. I'm ready to go.
Awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't come up with anything better.
Both those were great. I love the warm up. Sounds like a Jetson mobile, and the pig one never gets old. It's always fun to hear somebody snort.
It's so not flattering, but you got to do it. It humanizes you, you know. Everyone needs to snort once in a while.
It's funny to watch people's reaction or hear the reaction prior to Zoom. When we'd get to that 5th question, there'd be a pause. They've either got it and know it out of the gates, or there's that pause like, uh-oh, what am I going to do?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, or like when people ask you to do something with your face that no one else can do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, can I do it? Oh no, I can't do it anymore. When I was a little kid, I used to be able to like suck in my nose without. I can't. Apparently, I lost it. Sorry. This interview really is crashing. This is my fault.
And an absolute blast. I'm a huge fan. I'm beyond excited to watch your career continue to grow. We love your music. We love what you're doing. Keep pushing all that music out. And I hope one day we get to chat again. And I cannot wait to see you in person live once it's safe to do so.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been a blast. I hope that the next time we do it, it's in person. It'll be so much better.
Would love that. Ashe, take care. Talk to you soon.
All right. See you later. Bye.
Bye.